Welcome back to 5 Elements Tactical, self-defense, home defense, prepping, and survival. Today we're talking about my pack. I thought somebody stole it. I had my garage door was left open, and just a chain of events, and I didn't realize until a couple days later when I went to go look for something in my pack, and it wasn't there, and I was like panicking. I checked my truck, I checked my wife's truck, I checked my garage, my shed, my basement, and I was like, oh my God, freaking out. And lo and behold, I put it in my garage and I buried it under some other stuff. I was taking stuff out of this car and whatever. And but she asked, what do you have in that thing that's so valuable anyway? Which is a question that a lot of students ask me all the time. So we're going to bust into it today. Stay with me. What's up, warriors? This is Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media, and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. All right, so before we go into the pack, I usually use like a lot of redundancies. So to look at it as like a go bag, yeah, if I was going to like bug out, this is definitely coming with. If I'm going camping, this is definitely coming with. If I'm doing survival training, this is definitely coming with. Does it have everything that I would need to like bug out and live in the woods and never come back? No. But I use a kind of a leveled system that, again, if you follow the videos and my friends and buddies and students out there, they're all kind of like-minded when it comes to, emergency preparedness, prepping in general, survival training in general, all that type of stuff. If you're into camping or hiking, I'm sure you have a similar system. But I use like a tiered system. So I usually have milk crates that if I'm going to go camping or hiking or training or whatever, I bring a couple bins with me. And in those bins are things that once I get where I'm going, depending on what the weather is going to be, I could grab a few things and leave a few things. I always have this thing in my car, which that's almost like my truck's go bag. It's got jumper cables and a bunch of other stuff, but there's a lot of redundancies to the things that are in here. Ways to make fire, ways to make shelter, ways to stay warm, to purify water, etc. So the last time I used this, I remember saying to myself, man, I really need to like dump my bag, organize my bag, go through my stuff. I was trying to fish out something in the dark, and one pocket opened and it fell into some other stuff. And I know that some guys are really into like that dump bag, right? Like it's just a big bag and you just reach in like you brought a pail with you. And I'm more of a pocket guy because I try to keep my stuff organized, which I'm not exactly sure how organized it is right now. I know some stuff is going to be right where I expect it to be, and other stuff I'm glad I'm going to be dumping it out in front of you. So I've been using the 511 Tactical Rush 72 pack. That's this one, which I've used for a long time. And it's evolved so much over the years. Like I felt like my old or first go bag was probably more like camping meets like, like going to stay in a hotel for a couple nights, because there was clothes and toiletries and all sorts of stuff, some of which I still have in here, but I've learned how to layer my system where I have a toiletry bag in my truck all the time, because I work a lot and I crash in my car sometimes between job 1 and job 2, and if I got to freshen up, I can. Clothes. I'm usually wearing the clothes that I'm going to be wearing for the place where I'm going to be going, and I have other layers of like, if I need to stay dry, I got something in my car. If I need something to stay warm, I got something in my car. Extra pair of socks, I got it in here. And again, redundancy layers. So the 511 pack now has really become more camping / survival, fire, shelter, water bag. And even in there, I think there's some redundancies. So my top pocket is, man, I hope I remember how to put all this stuff back in I have asthma, meds. These are just like headache meds, backache type of stuff. Whistle right on top. If I couldn't yell or scream, if you could breathe, you could call for help. Aquaphor, it's like Vaseline, for when you're just hiking and sweating and chafing, and it's like body lube, man. It's awesome. Front pocket, top pocket. I always have my headlamp in here. Extra batteries. Lots and lots of liquid IV. What do you call these things? Electrolyte packs. This is some more batteries. Spare paracord. Just a 6-foot utility length and a small flashlight. I have all from when we're doing knots and rope work. more pens, markers, Sharpie, more batteries. More batteries. Could never have enough batteries. I try to keep all my gear running on AAAs, but I have some stuff that is still AA, so I have some of that, some of those as well. Big front pocket. Okay, work gloves, woodwork or like heavy. These are not leather. These are leather. Why do I have both in there? I don't know. This is a dry sack. My hat, a hat. This is a ferrocerium rod. This is, I'm sure somebody will ask, this is the Mora Garberg carbon. On the front, I have taped to it a big nail, which you could use as an awl. On the back, I have a sail needle, a big heavy-duty one. I got my ferrocerium rod, wrapped with some Gorilla Tape, compass. It's the Sunto MC2. It's got the mirror on there. It's got a magnifying glass on there. I put a little, I guess so I could see in the dark, because a couple times I tried to use it and it was so dark that I couldn't really see it, and my other flashlight was too bright. So this was like a really good, you know, backup, I guess. Some notes I have from Dave Canterbury's Pathfinder School. I have a Leatherman Charge multi-tool. I always forget what he calls this stuff. This is like starts a fire in no time. It's basically like cotton pads that are infused with goo. I don't know, you snap them, you light them, it'll take a spark, it'll take a lighter. Some baby wipes, some more Body Glide, S-Beaner, baby wipes. This pocket is flint and steel. This is a compound for sharpening your, you put that on your strop. Some Vaseline and cotton balls, eating utensils, writing utensils, and these are just some rocks that I picked up along the way that work good on the back of a, they'll throw some sparks which will get a char going. So they're just rocks that I picked up along the ground, whacked it off the back of my knife and caught a spark. I said, oh man, that's good, I'll hold on to that. They're good to have. And the top half, like the part that flaps down, and here I have Char. Char? Is that what's in this one? I think so. So Char, there's all different ways to make it, but yeah, so this is just an Altoids tin. I have another sail needle in here, some more nails in there, and some extra Char. I'm sure I have another thing in there. Char is like you take spongy, dried out wood that's decaying, you put it inside of a container, like you could use this, and you close it to deprive it of like the oxygen, you add the heat, it is the fuel but there's no fire, and it turns into like this, almost like ash, or like if you had a fire going for a long time and it kind of turns into coal, it turns into pretty much the coal that's left over. You take the Char material, and then even if your lighter didn't work but it still threw a spark, or from the back of the rock on the back of your knife, it'll catch a spark, which will become an ember, and that ember you could then place into like a tinder bundle or bird's nest, blow it to flame, and you got fire going. Toilet paper, I keep it in a Ziploc bag to keep it dry, because, you know, my axe. This is actually the thing I came outside to go look for, and I guess maybe because that's what I needed at the time, that's what I was freaking out the most that I thought I lost. It's a council tool camp carver axe, I think it's called. I love it, it's awesome. Orange bandana, paper bag with just some dry like stuff to make char from. See if I have any punk wood in there. I was saving it. I left it in something that would air out a little. I have a feeling there's just going to be. Yeah, here we go. So this wood, it's spongy to the touch. It'll break apart, and you put this into your. I'll make a video and I'll show you. But you put that in your steel container or whatever, and you can make char right from that. Big side pocket. In here, Altoids tin. I like to use Gorilla Tape because it's so sticky that you could peel it and it'll go right back down. And I could peel it off of this and use it on something else. Yeah, there's a whole tin of char. So like you can actually like throw your spark into there, and whatever catches, you take that out. When you close it up, whatever remaining spark that's whatever embers in there, it'll go out on its own. So that's a really good resource to have, tool to have. This is Silky Gone Boy. It's just a big saw for cutting, you know, saplings and branches and whatnot. Handful of stakes, probably my ridge line. Yep. So here's everything is so dirty because it's, you know, I don't really wash it. This is a ridge line to get a shelter going. You wrap this around a tree, tie this to another tree. These small prusik loops are able to, you attach a tarp so you could, you know, hang a tarp and get under it in all sorts of configurations. These are just 10 stakes that I have with extra paracord that I use to so I could pull them out of the ground quicker. I had done another project, so I have a secondary ridge line. A lot of the stuff that I have in my bag that's redundancies are also because I have a family, and I'm always thinking to myself like, man, a lot of the stuff in my kit was always primarily for like me to save me or self-rescue me or all that stuff, whereas if I had my wife or my kids are all small, and I could probably fit all 3 of my kids under a shelter that would hold me. And you know, if you get, you know, creative with it, you could definitely get something that would get me, my wife, and my kids all together, I think, with the stuff that's in here. I think. If not, then I would make the shelter for them and, I don't know, save them. Right? That's what warriors do. Save the day. Other side pocket. And I always have carabiners hanging off the side and different ways to attach gear on and off the bag. Some of the stuff that's on the inside I could strap to the outside, which is one of the things I like about this. This is just a big Helicon Tex, I think it's 9 feet by 9 feet tarp. Some fat wood is another way you make feathers out of this, and it'll take, you know, from a match or a lighter or a spark. In the back pouch, this is really supposed to hold a hydration bladder, but I don't use it for that. In this, I have contract garbage bags, like 5 mil, 6 mil thick. That's the thickness or strength of a garbage bag. They're for 55-gallon drum liners, so they're really big. There's ways to use this where you cut them and you could use it as shelter. You could make shelter from it. You could fill them with like leaves and debris and stuff to make like a browse bed, something to get you off the ground if the ground is cold and you need something to sleep on. There's a million uses for scavenging and whatnot. This is just an emergency tarp. I think it's 5 feet by 7 feet. One side is green if you want to hide out. The other side is reflective. So it's like got a mylar side to it to help reflect body heat or keep body heat in. And we just, you know, reinforce the edges and have some tie outs and guidelines on there already so that it makes it easier and faster to get a shelter going in a pinch, in an emergency. So the outside pockets on all this are pretty much the same for me all the time. I don't mess with those too much. I don't change them around too much. Again, I have redundancies for a lot of them in my car, but the inside is the stuff that I rotate most frequently, because the outside stuff are like my go-tos, my EDC part of my bag. Okay, so on this pack, there's 3 pockets. The front of the bag could be very heavy. So this the top pocket you could open from just the top, or if the bag is closed and you just flip this down, you could open from the bottom so you could still access it. So I think I had that open by accident. The middle one opens in the middle, or the top rather. Fat wood, chapstick, eating utensils, Vaseline with cotton balls. This is a way to make char. There's probably some char in there. Yeah, this I use from an old martial art, like karate uniform. Use full 100% cotton. I have another video on this coming up. Stand by, you'll see it. This is a, oh my God, what do you call this thing? Cloak pin? You could take your cotton blanket and wrap it around you and use this to go through like wool, let's say, and kind of pin it closed to hold it on you. But you could also use this as an awl. It's, you know, it's a multi-purpose to that. Lighter. Carving knife for like whittling fine things. Hook knife for like making a bowl or a cup or a spoon. Another lighter. Magnifying glass again to get char going. You could use the sun. You beam it on the char. It'll catch and you get an ember going. I have a solar charger in here and the wire. some dryer lint from another project I was working on, you know, from your clothes dryer. There's my steel from my flint and steel. This is called a millbank bag. If you took like turbid water with like mud or dirt or whatever from a stream or puddle, you soak this to get all the fibers to like kind of open up and become thick. You scoop up a bunch of water from a rope or a cord, you hold it, and it'll drip, and it basically acts as your primary filter. You filter into the water, and then you use your grail either to filter more, or like I would use this to not... The filters on here are expensive, so to preserve that, I would use this as like my first filter. Or you could do it right into your can, and then you boil the water, and then you could drink it. This is a small sharpening stone, which the back of this is a strop also. It's great by Falkniven, Falkniven. It's a great little piece of gear. These are just some ties to keep stuff together, and a carabiner that's broke. Throw that out. This side, this is a Swagman roll. It acts as you could use it as like a liner under your poncho if it's raining. It is waterproof also. You could use it as a sleeping bag, you could use it as a shelter, you could use it as a blanket. I usually use it as a pillow. Just an awesome piece of gear, especially like in the spring and fall months. So I have like a lot of camouflage stuff if I want to not be seen, or I just want to like blend with my environment or whatever. But then I also carry like, some orange stuff with me if I was trying to be seen or be found, or like, you know, God forbid, you want to have something that's going to make you stand out from the landscape if somebody's looking for you and trying to find you. It's also good if you need to hang something. You're going to walk away from your pack a little bit, and you're going to come back, and you want to leave something maybe hanging from a branch that you're going to be able to spot from far away. Blaze orange usually works. It does the trick really well. I'm sorry, this is my tarp, and the other one was my poncho. So the other side, on the side here is my poncho. This is my tarp. It's a 9x9 Helicon Tex tarp. The other one's the Helicon Tex rain poncho. I carry these two, they're both 511 container pouches, but these sticks allow me to strap them to the outside of the bag, front, back, top, wherever. One of them is like basically my cook kit. I have a video on this one, check it out. But the cook kit is, it's a Stanley. I use this a lot for like just camp cooking. Nesting cup, pot. Inside the pot is then it's a MSR pocket rocket. It opens up, you put it on top, sit it down, light it, cook on it, breaks down real small, and everything goes back into this thing. So it's you know, just really so easy, so set it and forget it, and it collapses so small, so quick, and it goes right back in here. All right, and then the other one is my it's a single wall stainless steel water bottle. I don't remember all the names of these things. I know what they are, but I don't know the names of them. So in here I have the nesting cup that goes with this, the cup, the lid. You take that off. It's not insulated, so again, you can collect water. You could use your shemagh or a bandana to get out like a lot of the grit. Put this in fire, boil the water, and you have something to drink. It may not always taste the best, but it'll work. You take that wood and you put the wood in here, that punky wood, cover it like so, you leave it in the fire. It won't catch fire. It'll basically turn wood or cotton material into char. And this kit is also, it's a fish mouth opener thing that that's another way to hang it, boil it, etc., but it stays with the kit. And I like that these allow me to create more room inside the pack to put other stuff in here if I needed to. Just remember that ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. A lot of the stuff that's in here, I know depending on what I'm going to be doing when I go for training or for just hiking or whatever, I take a lot of this stuff out, honestly. This is some dry clothes, not cotton, but like moisture wicking stuff. I keep it in a dry bag so it stays dry in case I need to get dry, get warm. Shemagh in a bag. Some beef jerky, trail mix, granola. some rope that I have cut to various lengths for various purposes. Another knife. This is from Pathfinder Knife Shops. It's their Kep Art XL. It's the big one. It's an awesome knife. It's a beast. Extra paracord, bank line, another drum liner, and that's it. And this is just the case to that other thing, but it's got some Mylar in it. It's a bag. I figured I could use it. Doesn't take up much space, and it's no weight. So you could see why I was going crazy, that I thought I lost all this stuff. I don't know how much it all cost. I'm afraid to even add it all up together. I did not buy it all at once. It's been like, you know, I've been building this kit for a long time, and I always try to find stuff on sale or get something secondhand, or I have a friend who bought something. He's like, I don't want this thing anymore. You want to buy it, you know, or you trade gear or whatever. You know, you learn a lot of those lessons when you're a kid with no money, and sometimes I try to remember those lessons, and I try to stick with them still. However, obviously, like I don't have money right now to go and buy all this stuff all over again. I'd have to start getting after it, you know, one piece at a time, which is what I tell my students all the time. Just start small. Start with, like, you know, the basics. You know, like get a bag. It doesn't have to be a $1 million bag. Get a $50 bag, $20 bag, whatever. You know, take an old backpack that you don't use for, you know, school or something like that, and get a kit started. But more important than anything else is the knowledge, because knowledge weighs nothing. You can carry all the knowledge in the world, and it won't put any weight on your back at all. In fact, it'll help you take some of the weight off your back, because the more you know how to use stuff, the less stuff you got to carry. So anyway, let me know what you think of the kit. Some of the redundancies that you guys are going to ask about for sure. First aid kit. We did a video a few weeks ago on my first aid kit and trauma kit, which are always in my vehicle, and anytime I go into the field, I bring them with. I have another first aid kit that attaches to the outside very well. It's kind of beefy, more of a bug out bag. There's a lot of types of medicine and stuff, but there's also a small trauma kit in here. There's a whole nother video for itself. Grail, man, this thing is a lifesaver. You could just take this and dip it into probably the toilet. I wouldn't try that, but you could, and just press it, filters it, drink it. Great piece of kit. E-tool. It opens up into a shovel. It's got a serrated edge, a sharper edge. You could use it as a hammer. You could lock it out this way and use it like a backhoe or a hoe, whatever you call that. And Borealis Agawa, or Agawa Borealis. I don't know how you say it. All these crazy names for everything. It's another great piece of kit. It folds up into nothing, and it's in my car all the time. This goes where I go. Look at that. If you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you got to have it, make sure to hit the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths meet again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.